The engine sputtered to a halt just after midnight on a desolate stretch of highway outside Seattle, leaving Lockwood Thompson stranded with nothing but the faint glow of his dashboard and the distant hum of passing trucks. Panic set in as he realized his phone was dead, and the gas gauge mocked him with its empty needle. No stations for miles, no one to call. Then, blue and red lights flashed in his rearview mirror, and a police cruiser pulled up behind him, the door opening to reveal Officer Ryan Keller, whose stern face softened as he approached and said, "Looks like you're in a bind. Hop in, I'll get you sorted." Lockwood hesitated for a split second, his mind racing through every late-night horror story he'd heard about hitchhiking or trusting strangers. But something in Ryan's steady gaze and the way he held out a hand made him slide into the passenger seat of the cruiser. The warmth inside was a stark contrast to the chilly Washington night, and as Ryan radioed for a tow truck, Lockwood stole glances at the officer. Mid-30s, broad-shouldered, with a jawline that spoke of quiet strength and eyes that held a hint of exhaustion from long shifts. "Thanks, man," Lockwood muttered, rubbing his hands together. "I was on my way back from a job interview in Tacoma. Thought I'd make it home without stopping." Ryan nodded, his voice calm and reassuring. "No problem. Happens more than you'd think out here. Name's Ryan." They exchanged small talk as they waited, Lockwood sharing how he was a recent college grad struggling to find work in graphic design, living paycheck to paycheck in a cramped apartment in the city. Ryan listened intently, revealing bits about his own life. Divorced a year ago, no kids, dedicated to the force but weary of the politics and prejudices that came with the badge. When the tow truck arrived, Ryan insisted on following Lockwood to the nearest gas station, even helping him fill up the tank. "You shouldn't be out here alone this late," Ryan said, handing over a business card. "Call if you need anything." Lockwood pocketed it with a grateful smile, feeling an unexpected spark, a connection that went beyond mere kindness. Back in his car, he drove home replaying the encounter, wondering if it was just the adrenaline or something more. The next day, emboldened by a sleepless night, Lockwood texted the number on the card. "Thanks again for last night. Owe you a coffee?" To his surprise, Ryan replied almost immediately, "You're on. Tomorrow morning." Their first coffee meetup at a quiet diner near the precinct turned into hours of conversation. Lockwood learned Ryan had grown up in a conservative family in rural Idaho, enlisting in the military right out of high school before transitioning to law enforcement. "It was expected," Ryan admitted, stirring his black coffee. "Be a man, serve your country, all that." Lockwood shared his own story. Coming out in college, the fallout with his religious parents who still sent passive-aggressive texts about finding his way back, and the isolation of being gay in a world that often felt hostile. Ryan's eyes softened with understanding. "I've seen a lot on the job, hate crimes, discrimination. Makes you question things." As they parted, Lockwood felt a pull he hadn't experienced in years, but doubt crept in. Was Ryan even interested in men? Or was this just professional courtesy? Over the next few weeks, their meetings became routine, lunches, hikes in the nearby mountains, even a casual beer after Ryan's shift. Lockwood found himself opening up about his dreams of starting his own design firm, while Ryan confided in the pressures of being a cop in a time of social unrest, the protests against police brutality that made him second-guess his career daily. One evening, as they walked along the Puget Sound waterfront, Ryan stopped and turned to Lockwood. "I need to be honest," he said, his voice low. "I'm gay too, but I've kept it hidden on the force in my family. It's not easy." Lockwood's heart raced. The confession unlocked a flood of emotions. They shared their first kiss that night under the stars, tentative yet electric, marking the beginning of a secret romance fraught with risks. But secrecy bred complications. Ryan's job demanded discretion. Any hint of his orientation could jeopardize his position, especially with rumors of internal investigations into officers' personal lives. Lockwood, meanwhile, faced his own battles. Friends warning him about dating a cop, citing power imbalances and the optics of it all. "He's in a position of authority," his best friend Mia argued over drinks. "What if things go south? He could make your life hell." Lockwood brushed it off, but the words lingered. Their dates were stolen moments. late-night drives, hidden picnics in secluded parks. Yet, the thrill was tempered by fear. One night, after a heated argument about Ryan canceling plans due to an emergency call, Lockwood snapped. "I get it. Your job comes first, but when do I?" Ryan pulled him close. "You're everything to me. But if this gets out, it could ruin us both." As their relationship deepened, external pressures mounted. Lockwood landed a freelance gig designing protest posters for a local LGBTQ rights group, which clashed with Ryan's role in maintaining order during demonstrations. "How can you date someone who enforces the system we're fighting against?" a fellow activist questioned at a meeting. Lockwood defended Ryan, explaining his partner's internal struggles and desire for change from within, but it sowed seeds of doubt. Ryan, too, faced scrutiny at work. A colleague overheard a phone call and started whispering, leading to tense confrontations in the locker room. "You better watch your back," his partner on patrol warned. The brass doesn't like distractions. The turning point came during a massive pride parade in Seattle. Lockwood marched with his group, waving flags and chanting for equality, while Ryan was assigned crowd control. Their eyes met across the barricade. Lockwood's filled with pride, Ryan's with conflict. Later that night, Ryan showed up at Lockwood's door, uniform still on. "I can't keep pretending," he said. "Seeing you today, it made me realize I want to be out there with you, not against you." They talked for hours, weighing the consequences. Ryan risking his job, Lockwood facing backlash from his community. But love pushed them forward. Ryan came out to his sergeant the next week, bracing for fallout. The news spread like wildfire through the precinct. Whispers turned to outright stares, and Ryan found himself sidelined from high-profile assignments. "It's for your own good," his superior claimed, but Ryan knew better. It was thinly veiled discrimination. At home, his ex-wife called, furious about the embarrassment, to their shared social circle. "What about our friends? Our family?" she demanded. Ryan hung up, feeling the weight of isolation. Lockwood supported him through it all, but their relationship strained under the scrutiny. Public dates now invited judgmental glances, and online trolls targeted Lockwood's social media after a photo of them surfaced. One particularly brutal incident unfolded during a routine traffic stop. Ryan pulled over a vehicle for speeding, only to be met with slurs from the driver. "Faggot cop? Huh? Bet you like pulling guys over for fun." The words stung, echoing the internalized hate Ryan had fought for years. He handled it professionally, but it shook him. That night, he broke down in Lockwood's arms. "Maybe this was a mistake," he whispered. "Coming out. Us, everything." Lockwood held him tighter. "No, we're fighting for something real." But doubt festered. Lockwood's parents, upon learning about Ryan, sent a scathing email. "A policeman? And gay? This is your rebellion against us." Lockwood ignored it, but the rejection hurt. Amid the turmoil, a glimmer of hope emerged. Ryan joined a support group for LGBTQ officers, finding camaraderie he never knew existed. Stories of others navigating similar paths inspired him. Lockwood, encouraged by this, proposed they attend a gala for police reform, where Ryan could speak about his experiences. It could bridge the gap, Lockwood urged. Ryan agreed, nervous but determined. The event was a success. Ryan's speech about the need for inclusivity in law enforcement earned applause, even from skeptics. For the first time, they felt seen as a couple, not a controversy. Yet, success bred envy. A jealous colleague leaked details of Ryan's personal life to a local tabloid, twisting the narrative into a scandal. Cop's secret gay affair raises questions of bias. The article questioned if Ryan's orientation influenced his duties, citing the midnight rescue as potential favoritism. Lockwood was painted as a vulnerable civilian, exploited under duress. The backlash was swift. Protests outside the precinct, calls for Ryan's suspension. Lockwood's freelance work dried up as clients distanced themselves from the drama. "This is ruining us," Lockwood yelled during a heated fight. "I love you, but at what cost?" Ryan stormed out, spending the night in his car, questioning every choice. Reconciliation came slowly, Ryan requested a meeting with his chief, presenting evidence of his impartial record. "My personal life doesn't affect my job," he asserted. Surprisingly, the chief backed him, initiating sensitivity training for the department. Lockwood, meanwhile, rallied his activist friends to counter the narrative online, sharing positive stories of their relationship. Together, they weathered the storm, emerging stronger but scarred. As summer faded into fall, a new challenge arose. Ryan's family reunion in Idaho. He invited Lockwood, knowing it could be explosive. "They need to see us for who we are," Ryan said. Lockwood agreed, steeling himself for confrontation. The drive was tense, filled with hypotheticals. Upon arrival, Ryan's parents greeted them coolly, his siblings more openly hostile. Dinner turned into a battlefield. Accusations of choosing this lifestyle. Debates over morality and tradition. Ryan defended their love fiercely. "This isn't a choice. It's who I am. And Lockwood makes me happy." One brother stormed out, but his sister pulled Ryan aside later. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. It wasn't full acceptance, but a crack in the wall. Back in Seattle, the experience bonded them further. They moved in together, creating a home filled with art from Lockwood's designs and mementos from Ryan's career. But societal rifts persisted. During a community forum on police and LGBTQ relations, Lockwood spoke passionately about reform, while Ryan advocated for understanding from both sides. Questions flew. Can a gay cop truly be unbiased? Is dating a civilian ethical? They navigated the minefield, their answers raw and honest. The forum ignited broader discussions, with media outlets picking up the story. Ryan and Lockwood became reluctant symbols, a beacon for some, a target for others. Hate mail arrived at their door, anonymous threats that forced Ryan to install security cameras. Lockwood's anxiety spiked. Nightmares of that midnight breakdown morphed into visions of violence. "What if someone comes after you because of me?" he asked Ryan one sleepless night. Ryan reassured him, but the fear was palpable. To cope, they sought therapy, unpacking the trauma of secrecy, coming out, and public scrutiny. The sessions revealed deeper wounds. Ryan's military days suppressing his identity, Lockwood's abandonment issues from his family. Professionally, Ryan was promoted to community liaison, a role that allowed him to bridge gaps between law enforcement and marginalized groups. It was fulfilling, but exhausting, endless meetings, hostile encounters. Lockwood's career rebounded. He started a nonprofit designing inclusive campaigns for LGBTQ causes. Their paths intertwined more than ever, collaborating on projects that highlighted stories like theirs. Yet, envy from within the community surfaced. Some activists accused Lockwood of selling out by partnering with a cop, labeling him a traitor. "How can you sleep next to the enemy?" a former friend posted online. The betrayal stung, forcing Lockwood to question his alliances. A pivotal conflict arose during a heated protest against a recent police shooting. Ryan was on duty, tasked with de-escalation, while Lockwood attended as a supporter. Tensions boiled over. Tear gas deployed, arrests made. In the chaos, Lockwood was detained briefly for resisting, though he claimed innocence. Ryan intervened, recognizing him and vouching for his release. The incident exploded in the press. Nepotism or favoritism? Cop saves boyfriend from arrest. Accusations of corruption flew, with internal affairs launching an investigation. Ryan was suspended pending review, plunging them into financial strain. "This is my fault," Lockwood lamented. "I shouldn't have been there." Ryan shook his head. "No, we both believe in change. We can't hide from it." The suspension period was a trial by fire. Ryan volunteered at shelters, rediscovering his passion for helping without the badge. Lockwood doubled down on his work, channeling frustration into advocacy. Friends rallied around them. Mia organized fundraisers. Ryan's sister sent encouraging messages. Slowly, evidence cleared Ryan. Body cam footage showed his actions were protocol compliant. He was reinstated with a warning, but the damage lingered. Trust eroded among colleagues. As they rebuilt, a personal milestone approached: their one-year anniversary. Lockwood planned a surprise weekend getaway to the Olympic Peninsula, where they hiked rainforests and shared quiet moments by the fire. "Remember that night on the highway?" Lockwood asked, tracing Ryan's hand. "Best breakdown ever." Ryan laughed, pulling him close. "Changed my life." But the trip wasn't without interruption. A call from Ryan's father, tentative but sincere. "I don't understand it all, but I miss my son." It was a step toward reconciliation, fragile yet hopeful. Back home, societal debates intensified. A national bill on LGBTQ rights in law enforcement gained traction, with Ryan testifying in support. His story humanized the issue, swaying opinions. Lockwood stood by him, proud but wary of the spotlight. Internal conflicts persisted. Ryan grappled with guilt over past enforcements that harmed queer communities, while Lockwood forgave but urged accountability. Their love evolved, rooted in mutual growth. The testimony propelled them into advocacy circles, invitations pouring in for panels and podcasts. Ryan embraced it, finding purpose beyond patrols. Lockwood thrived, his designs gracing billboards nationwide. But fame brought predators. A stalker emerged, sending disturbing letters referencing their sinful union. Police protection was assigned, heightening paranoia. "We can't live like this," Lockwood said, packing bags for a temporary move. Ryan agreed, but resentment built. Why couldn't they just be normal? Family dynamics shifted. Lockwood's parents reached out unexpectedly, inviting them for Thanksgiving. Skeptical, they attended. The dinner was awkward, laced with probing questions, but ended with his mother hugging Ryan. "If you make him happy, that's enough." It wasn't full endorsement, but progress. Ryan's family followed suit. His brother apologized over Christmas, admitting ignorance. These men's healed old scars, allowing space for joy. Professionally, Ryan faced a career crossroads. Offered a desk job for safety, he declined, choosing fieldwork to effect real change. Lockwood worried constantly. "What if something happens?" Ryan's response, "Then I know I lived authentically." Their bond deepened through vulnerability, conversations turning philosophical, about identity, power, love in a divided world. A major crisis hit when a colleague outed another gay officer maliciously, leading to harassment. Ryan led the charge for policy reform, rallying support. The effort succeeded, implementing protections department-wide. Lockwood documented it through art, creating a viral series on queer resilience. Yet, personal tolls mounted. Exhaustion led to arguments. Ryan snapping about Lockwood's activist bubble, Lockwood retorting about Ryan's cop mentality. Therapy helped navigate, reminding them of shared values. As winter set in, they adopted a dog, a rescue mutt named Midnight, symbolizing their fateful meeting. Walks became therapy, discussions flowing freely. "Do you regret hopping in?" Ryan teased. Lockwood smiled. "Never," but undercurrents of doubt persisted. During a quiet evening, Lockwood confessed, "Sometimes I wonder if society's ready for us." Ryan nodded. "Maybe not, but we're ready for society." The climax built during a citywide equality march. Ryan marched in uniform, a first for the department, with Lockwood by his side. Cheers mixed with boos, progressives applauding, conservatives jeering. A confrontation erupted. A protester accused Ryan of hypocrisy. Words escalated to shoves, Ryan stepping in to de-escalate. In the fray, he was injured, a minor concussion from a thrown object. Hospitalized briefly, he woke to Lockwood's tear-streaked face. "I can't lose you," Lockwood whispered. Ryan squeezed his hand. "You won't." Recovery brought reflection. Ryan considered leaving the force for advocacy full-time. Lockwood supported, envisioning a future less fraught. They planned a commitment ceremony, simple, intimate, defying norms. Invites went to reconciled families, loyal friends. The event was beautiful, vows exchanged under Seattle's skyline. In conflict and calm, "I choose you." Post-ceremony, life stabilized. Ryan transitioned to consulting, training officers on inclusivity. Lockwood's nonprofit flourished. Their story inspired others, but questions lingered. Had they compromised too much? Was love worth the battles? Years passed, their relationship a testament to endurance. Midnight grew old, a constant companion through moves and milestones. Ryan's consulting took them nationwide, sharing lessons learned. Lockwood published a book of illustrations chronicling queer love in unexpected places, dedicating it to Ryan. Public perception shifted. They became role models interviewed on shows debating societal change. But old wounds resurfaced during a national scandal. A police department exposed for anti-LGBTQ bias. Ryan was called as an expert witness, reliving traumas. Lockwood stood firm, but the stress reignited arguments. "You're putting us back in the firing line," Ryan countered. "If not us, who?" Resolution came through compromise. Ryan scaled back, focusing locally. Family ties strengthened. Holidays included both sets of parents. Awkwardness fading into acceptance. Ryan's niece came out, seeking advice. They guided her gently. Lockwood's siblings visited, bonds reforming. In quieter moments, they reflected on that midnight encounter. "What if I hadn't stopped?" Ryan mused. Lockwood shrugged. Fate had plans. Their love, forged in adversity, proved resilient. Yet, societal divides persisted, debates on power dynamics in relationships, ethics of authority figures dating civilians. As they aged gracefully, mentoring young LGBTQ individuals, their legacy grew. A documentary captured their journey, sparking conversations nationwide. In it, Ryan admitted, "Love doesn't erase conflicts. It navigates them." Lockwood added, "Choice defines us." One evening, watching the sunset over the Sound, Ryan turned to Lockwood. "Worth every fight?" Lockwood nodded. "And more. Their story ends not in perfection, but in perseverance." But was it right for a cop to pursue a romance born from a duty-bound encounter?